Well, game 3, RivaL 1, SK 1, and into game 3 we go. It's been a while since I've been able to say SK is going to a third game, especially against a team like RivaL that at the start of the year you would have said RivaL look almost unbeatable after the World Championships and going into spring.
Even right now, I would still say that people are probably going to be very surprised that RivaL ended up taking a loss here. This is SK's first match win. I don't want to say period. I'm pretty sure that they've gotten another gotten another victory win before, but it's been a while, and for SK to possibly have a chance to take this set home from RivaL, that would not only completely ruin whatever chances, if they haven't already ruined whatever chances RivaL had remaining, but that's got to be a blow to the confidence levels too.
Well, this is a weird one because RivaL losing games to SK impacts them on maybe making the top end, even if they do win this game here. And it also affects Obey potentially too, funny enough. We'll talk about that a little bit later on if it does come to it next week. But for now, RivaL have adjusted. They're taking Mercury and Athena away. They don't want to deal with that CC anymore.
I don't blame them. I actually am not certain that the Mercury was mandatory so much, but the Athena pick for sure, I think HalfDevil being able to have the Athena combined alongside of Ducky Sobek was way too much control in favor of SK. It's just such easy frontline initiation and disengage that RivaL did not have many opportunities to try and breach that base. But SK still looking for that same level of crowd control, and they might be able to find it with that Baron pickup.
Well, this time around, Deathwalker's not going to play the Baron, but Serqet was drafted very early on in this draft, and Serqet into Baron, I'm kind of okay with that, because obviously Serqet's great against healers. Just standard. That's just the way she is.
100% anti-heal, that's for sure, but SK keeping the map a little bit more in the back of their minds here. Janus as that third pick choice, and Janus with the Chernobog, you've obviously got a lot of map pressure and global presence, I should say, that should go hand in hand with map pressure, but you do need to make sure that you make it through to the stages, I think, where team fights are going to be more relevant. I am concerned about SK's lack of frontline so far, because even if it is Baron in the solo lane, Baron's not going to be able to absorb all of the blows forever.
Yeah, you mentioned that in game 2 as well, RivaL with a little bit of a lackluster frontline, and this game they seem to have shown it up a little bit more now. Amaterasu, Sobek, really sorry for them, but SK now have to answer back. SK, by the way, the Cupid from potentially Vote playing that into the Chernobog here, which we've seen a few times, and Raw as well, so Wlfy won't have that available. The next go-to pick then. We're looking at a mid laner. What would you like to see here?
Mid lane for RivaL?
RivaL, yeah.
Maybe a Poseidon.
I
like saying Poseidon for Wlfy. I also think the Poseidon's Whirlpool could be really effective against the Janus, preventing him from going to portals as freely as what he might like to. And I also just realized it too, but I'm pretty sure SK drafted the exact same 3 picks as RivaL from the last game.
Well, also look at this. Pele.
For their first 3 at least.
Pele is going to get locked in for SK Gaming. We've not seen a Pele too much over in Europe. Deathwalker has picked it up now and again for RivaL in the solo lane. But this could be the first time we see Pele in the jungle here, I think, in Europe. I don't think we've seen any jungle Pele yet.
Not in SPL play.
No,
not in
so
SPL play. It's been predominantly for solo lane only in Europe. They seem to favor just a little bit more on that side, but...
And then New War will be the final pick for RivaL. Someone we see go back to now and again if you're worried about pressure, and I guess Pele brings that pressure, so you want safety in that mid lane to deal with it.
And Pele's going to complement the Janus nicely, because not only do they both get additional movement speed, but you have to keep in mind that Pele is going to be able to knock members up and hopefully set up for the Unstable Vortex early on.
Who do you think is going to win this one?
RivaL are probably going to want to come back with a vengeance.
Okay, well, you guys at home also get a choice of who you think will win this one. Game 3, SK Gaming found a win. Can they put RivaL to bed and find their first victory in fall? We'll find out. It's Aggro and Anatoly standing by.
We interrupt where you thought it would be set 2 for Game 3 between SK and Team RivaL. I think a lot of people were expecting a 2-0 for RivaL, but SK show a lot of grit, man, and they play very, very well in Game 2. And earn a victory there.
That's right. RivaL had their opportunities of coming back with that split push in the middle. Phoenix as well. Despite being behind, they found those little holes to exploit. And that's why RivaL is such a top-tier team. But the record doesn't portray that top-tierness that we've seen out of them, at least in the beginning of Season 5 and towards the end of Season 4.
If you would have showed me 30% people voting for SK against RivaL, I would have asked what we fed them that day. But honestly, after the way that RivaL has played in this set, in the way that SK has played in this set, I think that looks about right to me. Sure, RivaL still favored, but SK has earned those 30%. Can you imagine how detrimental I think this set would be to RivaL should they end up losing it?
They probably don't even make top 2 after that.
No, they definitely don't. I think they're eliminated if they lose against SK here. But I just mean mentally. I mean, this is RivaL's an emotional team. And to lose against SK, to give them their first win as you ramp up into the placement stages where you're going to need to play well in order to make it to DreamHack Atlanta, I mean, that would be devastating. I think this game is all the pressure in the world is on RivaL.
It would remind me of the Season 3 group play stages where Orbit was playing spoiler.
I think we're getting close to Envy territory, where Envy was the best team in North America all Season 2, and then they go to Super Regionals, and they have the worst week of gameplay of their lives.
Season 2, yeah.
And don't go to Worlds. I feel like this is RivaL's decline, similar to Envy. We'll see if they can turn it around. They're looking to do so onto Funball, but Funball still safe. Good shell coming from HalfDevil. I'm not saying that RivaL will not make Worlds. That's not, or DreamHack Atlanta, rather. That's not what I'm saying. I just mean that these stories are becoming a little bit too similar, I think, if you're a RivaL fan.
I was thinking more about how Orbit was playing spoiler the same way SK Gaming might play spoiler here today. I think it allowed LG to make Worlds that one time around, as Funballer and HalfDevil still under their tower for a very long time. This is the one disadvantage that a Terra has at level 1 and level 2. When you start off your stun, you're not going to have that monolith crash through up until level 3, and Vote and Callus still abusing this Amaterasu / insert Hunter here.
Funball still with that decent poke onto Vote. Really has been a dedicated plan from RivaL to stick with this Ama support. And Kalas has done okay with it so far. I think Game 1 had some positioning questions. Game 2 as well had a couple moments, but it's certainly gotten them lane pressure for the most part. Vote was killed in the 2v2 in Game 2, but that felt less to do with the Ama and more to do with the fight that they were taking. Good zoning here from Kalas, guarantees the buff. Invade yet again by RivaL.
Funballer not even interested in that one, and they had plenty of time to even clear out the wave. And because of the prioritization of this Amaterasu, hold that thought though, Vote taking a whole lot of damage. Forced to Aegis some of it, but they wants to play it offensively and turn it back around. HalfDevil, couple shots.
Very close. Wlfy's already level 5. Ultimate, not enough, but HalfDevil jukes himself to death. There was no one else coming. Faeles is, though, on this left-hand side, looking for Vote. Aegis already down for him, but Vote might just be out. Kalas, not quite so lucky. Faeles does ding 5, but still too far out of range. Good pre-beads by Faeles on the Mesmerize, but only gets 1.
Still really good enough for him to get that level 5 marker now before iceicebaby's here, but he blinks on in, forces out the Aegis, needs one more basic. What you can do, I could do better, says iceicebaby.
Is better for Ice because he actually kills the Hunter and not the support. Vote now able to stick around and get an extra wave and a buff camp, which might be able to get him all the way to those Devourer's gauntlets. So RivaL and SK, 2 for 1 in RivaL's favor, and RivaL already off to a slight gold lead. Wlfy hit 5 very early on. I don't think he was sharing a whole lot of waves from iceicebaby.
Definitely not.
Dual lane was level 3.
Yeah, definitely not sharing any waves. Already still a 1-level advantage, but Lawbster able to get better farming department as he finishes off the Book of Thoth, playing the Janus, and the Janus was picked specifically to take it away out of Wlfy's hands, because after Amaterasu Serqet was locked in for RivaL, SK were like, oh, okay, you want to do the mobility strat again? Not this time around. And honestly, it's a different playstyle from what the Agni was happening in the Game 2.
Lob, I think, has looked his best on Agni so far during this fall split. He's had rough games on, let's say, Zeus, from what we saw earlier on in this set, but we'll see how he's able to do on this Janus. He played it very well during spring. I believe that's when he had a great game up against what was Obey Alliance and was able to steal a victory, but we'll see if he can copy that here with the Janus this time around. This is the first time that Deathwalker is playing the bully instead of the bullied in this lane, at least on paper. Deathwalker has been playing Jean-Qui and Baron as Lawbster through space and times right towards iceicebaby. Funball has Living Nightmare going as well. Big chase onto Ice, but Funball is actually looking for Kalas on that top-hand side. Here comes Vote, comes crashing down right onto Faeles.
No
Faeles has that ultimate available. Volcanic Lightning doing good damage, but he's immediately caught and isolated. iceicebaby gets that kill. Dazzling offensive, stuns Funball, but Ice is hunting Lawbster.
Oh, they're going for it in the backhand side. Last breath is committed. Needs to find the one basic step, but Lawbster at least takes out Callus before he falls.
Callus gifts Lawbster a kill on the way out. Lobster's dead to rights. I mean, his portal was down. Why is Callus running forward there?
I think because he already committed the dash to the left-hand side onto both Funballer and HalfDevil, and he was trying to actually run away from them instead.
Oh, blink from Ice, but red buff body blocks the Cobra's kiss. Ice still able to strip away the buff and leap away. Serqet's pretty good at that kind of stuff, using her mobility. Blink only accentuates that. There's not a lot of hard CC you have to respect on SK. They go from a full CC composition to nearly none. And that's pretty surprising to me, because clearly that last composition gave RivaL a lot of issues, and they just go completely away from it.
I mean, to be fair, like, Terra has plenty of CC.
Sure.
Ducky has soft CC between slows, between the roots. Faeles has a great knock-up.
It's true.
Lawbster loses a lot of CC by going to Janus for mobility as opposed to the Agni for the crowd control. So where they lack in terms of CC, they make up for in the mobility.
Mobile option used by Funball as he and Vote both getting low. Vote decided to not go for the Devo gloves right away. Instead went for the Warrior Tabi right away. Is it just a personal preference thing on which way you go, whether it's going for Devos first or Boots first?
I think Boots first is always the better option because you're able to be flexible with either being aggressive or running away from the action. Whereas if you go for Devil Gloves, you're committing yourself to farming. So against somebody that has Boots, the chances of you securing that kill, unlikely. Anyway, at the end of the day, you're basically saying, like, I don't want to fight. I'm just going to farm. Leave me alone.
Vote using his ultimate just to get back to lane. In this case, to the Oracles. There's no real fight going on there, and Funball is going to use his ultimate Living Nightmare to get in, and he might be getting out forcibly. Through space of time comes through, and it's actually Vote who falls first. Funball's Aegis leaves him alive at what is less than 10 HP, and let me tell you, that's more than he needed. RivaL loses 2, and Funball, I mean, that is as aggressive as it gets, and it left me wondering, and I think it left RivaL wondering, and it took him too long to figure out what was going on.
Funballer was like, not even close, baby, but very close to killing out Ducky, but Deathwalker's lurking in the water was just out of range.
Didn't commit underneath that tower. He takes a couple tower shots, but not willing to go that deep into the enemy side. RivaL, again, tied with SK in kills. Faeles off to another great start, 3-1 for this Pele.
That's right, but not in the gold department. It's RivaL that's able to almost get a 1,000 goal lead at this point. Not the most to really talk about, as the experience is practically even.
That's 10 experience lead right there totally for SK, so make sure you... That's a lot, you know?
You're right. I got to put respect on the number.
That is what percentage of a 1 minion? It's like 1 minion.
Pretty much.
Of experience difference. That's... You can't be missing 1 minion of experience, or else you'll find yourself in a deficit.
Absolutely. Got to worry out there for both of these teams, all about all these minions. Funballer still making some really highlight plays off of this global pressure. That Aegis timer, though, should get abused from RivaL. I want to see some rotations from iceicebaby onto Funballer.
Especially with Funballer still having no beads, but instead Ice is on this right-hand side looking for Ducky and finding Ducky. Just needed one more tick. Ice able to get that kill. It fails. Solos down Callus by himself in the jungle. Didn't even cost him the beads, just the ultimate. Fails now 4-1. That's what you want that's what you want if you're an SK fan.
That's kind of
Lawbster shotguns Wlfy and costs Wlfy his Aegis. I love it, man. That was slick.
Oh, but look at this on the backhand side. Rotating around. Deathwalker going to be looking for the pluck. But the threshold, it's going to scare away the Croc.
Deathwalker's still here for good reason. SK posturing like they might want to go for Gold Fury. Deathwalker just being an absolute nuisance because iceicebaby is the one farming up. They just swapped roles, it felt like. Instead of Deathwalker staying in lane and not being able to get that tower because he does way less damage to the tower itself, he allows Ice to stay, and he rotates around. That is awesome. That is such a good idea. Because now, Ducky is host in that lane. I mean, you're Baron. You can never step up to clear the wave with that much displacement on the enemy team. And if Ice just goes about his business and sticks with the game plan, there's no way Deathwalker's able to get that tower, but RivaL also don't give up the Gold Fury by doing that rotation.
Oh, RivaL were thinking about invading that speed buff, but not really having the necessary timer. Ducky's getting harassed a little bit by Deathwalker, but now he's going to be caught in a 2v1, forced to use that lurking in the water. Movement speed out of Faeles gets him out of danger. Zigzagging on closer to the action. Faeles gets caught.
Faeles going in, though. The damage is absurd, and iceicebaby does end up falling. Wlfy gets the final tick onto Faeles, but that turn and burn, man, I love it. I love it from Faeles.
Oh, absolutely. Unfortunate for Deathwalker is he used lurking in the water a lot more premature than he would have wanted to. Really fearful of that 1v2. A little bit of a 1v1 on the left-hand side. Funballer is trying to casually clear the wave. He doesn't have the dash. I'm surprised Vote just... Oh, he doesn't have the ult.
Yeah,
okay.
doesn't have it quite yet. Vote's been using his ultimate as a teleport, more or less, with a shorter cooldown.
Sure.
That costs him a little bit of extra mana. So he doesn't have it up, but does force Funballer back to base.
Expect the same thing,
very
though.
little. Yeah, here comes Living Nightmare. Vote jukes, but
Good
not
jukes.
into range of the crystallized curses.
Down, under, to the side, and then back up. Kind of like a puzzle piece. The way Vote avoided those two different forms of CCs between the stun and the root. And it's global for global pressure, which is why we're seeing more Apollo as of recent, trying to catch up to that Living Nightmare, making sure you don't fall behind in some of the farm. And that's why we also see Xingwei. And there goes Apollo in the sky.
He's coming down, but red buff goes down for SK. Funball the target for Vote. Looking for him, but it's Wlfy who's the first one out. Lawbster did great work with that ultimate and provides portals away. Kalas not wanting to give up the chase quite yet, but great walls from HalfDevil stop the chase in its tracks. SK with another really clean, quick engagement.
But RivaL are going to try to force the issue around this Gold Fury. It's already less than 50% health. It's Ducky and Lawbster around the corner. No through space and time for Janus.
Coming in late here. RivaL does get the gold, but life of the party gonna bring some people back. No one sucked in quite yet. Faeles did great damage with that volcanic lightning, but Kalas the only one to fall so far. Faeles forced back with iceicebaby showing up. Vote down to 1, but Lawbster down to 0. Vote able to cut him down.
Oh,
so beautiful.
Look, it's so close. The little fire orb HalfDevil is going to go down as well. RivaL are just cleaning up everyone. Faeles is 1% health. Vote is still alive by a miracle. RivaL walk away with a Gold Fury and 4 kills.
SK, again, they're so close, totally. They do everything right, and then they're just too late to show up to gold. I mean, they're all there, but they let RivaL get it too low, just like Wlfy did in the last game, right? There's no reason to go for the steal when
Sure.
you could get them off the objective. You have the ultimate advantage. You have the man advantage. Why does SK wait?
So the problem is SK were fighting too prematurely around the red buff, forced to use through space and time defensively just to get away. HalfDevil uses that Earth and Fury. The only real ultimate that they had in that engagement was Ducky's living life of the party at the end of the day.
Well, now RivaL has a very commanding lead all of a sudden, where it looks like SK might be able to get back into it. HalfDevil won't be flung. Shouts to Terra passive. Life of the party up and available for Ducky, but too far out of range. Living Nightmare used by Funball, but that just sends RivaL packing, so SK defend their tower. That dip in golden experience all comes from that Gold Fury fight and the subsequent bloodbath thereafter. SK probably left wondering if that shouldn't have been a spike in their favor.
That's true. They just wanted that red buff too badly, right? And at the end of the day, they need to fight over the more important objectives. There needs to be a reason behind some of your offensive actions. Like, I understand you have Janus for the through space and time safety net, but is it really worth using defensively over just a red buff?
Fails, beats, and ultimate, but he goes back in because look at that through space and time coming from Lawbster, Kalas, and Ice. Put down to 1. HalfDevil is going to get himself one of those. HalfDevil gonna smack him down for the double kill. Terra able to smack down 2. Wlfy's got to use Aegis. Unstable Vortex was gonna do too much to him as Ducky doesn't want to let this Nuwa go.
No, I think Wlfy's dead to rights. HalfDevil cutting out the option right underneath. Gonna root him at the tail end. Wlfy with the perfect fire shards, getting CC immunity, but Lawbster is not gonna give this one up on the north end.
HalfDevil gobbled up by Deathwalker. Blink, tail whip. Could be out of range. Lawbster with not the portal you're looking for.
Definitely not the That's the worst feeling as a Janus.
That is. Or portaling the ground right in front of the wall. That is my least favorite
That's the
feeling.
worst, actually. Because
at least you get movement speed from that.
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to get movement speed from going on the portal ground, but you're wasting time by traveling through the universe.
SK only lose a couple on that right-hand side. Wlfy did a great job staying alive and putting out relevant damage. Has the early Soul Gem, and Soul Gem was once completely meta. Every mage was picking it up. We've seen a lot less of it as of late. Janus and Nuwa are the characters that I think you should still be picking up Soul Gem on more often than not. Nuwa, it should be almost every game you're picking up Soul Gem. If you can just make sure you're keeping track of your stacks and then use your ultimate and get that extra scaling on that, I mean, it makes that ultimate go from really, really, really good to incredible.
Oh, absolutely. Especially once you get higher level.
Right.
Maybe getting Soul Gem this early, not as useful. Lacking a little bit of penetration. Fails. Gets slowed. Gets stunned out. No real follow-up, though. Maybe wanted to try to force out some defensive relics.
Great wall there from HalfDevil, and that makes Kalas go back towards some danger. Kalas doesn't take too much damage. Kalas has really looked to just bully Faeles so far. That's kind of been his task, his assignment, if you will.
He's the mobile ward. That's what it really is. He's like, all right, let us know where Faeles is, and we're going to adapt. And that's going to allow Vote to still continue to try to look for a 1v1, seeing that he has a 2-level lead. Not a bad idea.
Lawbsters through space and times have been great for utility and damage so far in this game. A good look for him. Deathwalker in the front line, looking for a block on the Ducky. He'll find it right into the waiting clutches of Wlfy. That'll bring Ducky down to half. Earth and Fury committed to try and keep him nice and safe as the back line, they're hunting for Wlfy, but Faeles might be the prey himself. Vote not even concerning himself with Faeles. Funball does bring down Deathwalker on the front side. And SK and RivaL both trade 1 for 1. Sustain really not on either side. Deathwalker is already dead and his teleport isn't up, so he can't really join this.
Oh, Wlfy might be in a little bit of trouble. Good root as beads were down. Funballer with the kill from a distance.
And they got it. And SK get the Pyromancer. RivaL now on the run. Lawbster hits Unstable Vortex onto Vote, but Kalas slowed down, trying to chase him down as Ducky. I don't know if he's got the damage necessary in order to kill this Ama. A bit of damage mitigation from Reflective Mirror, not enough. Ducky evens us up at unlucky 13. SK battling back yet again.
They're still in it, and that steal was so clutch.
But this is where it's gone wrong for SK so far in this set.
I think they have it, though, unless iceicebaby has some sort of steal potential, but he's a Serqet.
He does have Blink. No ultimate for him yet. Ice knows what's going on, but he doesn't know the health of the objective. He's going to blink in, looking for Funball. Good damage coming from iceicebaby, but Ice has got to try and retreat. Ducky zoning away Vote as best he can. Deathwalker coming in. SK get the Fire Giant. Ducky low and will get plucked back into Vote. He's the sacrifice, but SK lose 1 and get the objective. Much better than the last time.
Definitely much better, and if you're going to lose anybody, you want to lose either your support or the soul laner. You want to get your damage carries that Fire Giant buff, and that's exactly what SK Gaming do. Escape very safely and continue to just drag the game on a little bit longer. So many kills compared to some of these past games. 27 kills in 19.5 minutes. It's a slobber knocker.
RivaL goes right for Gold Fury. Lawbster has the ultimate, beats preemptively, gets him out of the pluck. Lob is going for mid camps, and pluck's coming up pretty soon, but Deathwalker can't quite.
Yeah, he's too fast. Janus too quick on his toes. Tier 1 tower going to get looked out despite its SK Gaming with the Fire Giant buff. Not very often that the team without the Fire Giant buff is looking for some of these offensive sieges.
RivaL able to keep the gold lead in their favor momentarily. SK want to use this Fire Giant to squeeze some gold out of RivaL's side of the map by way of their towers. Every tower is still standing here for RivaL. SK's only lost 1 themselves. That's that solo tower that Ice was able to split push down after that gank onto Ducky. If you're SK, which lane are you heading to right now?
I'm going to be heading down mid lane.
Running it down mid?
Running down mid.
I love it. Lawbster has actually left the mid lane for a little bit. He's heading over to this right-hand side, preventing a potential split push. But his beads are down, and Ice is coming right over there. Might try and commit underneath this tower. Lawbster knows something's going on, and he drops a ward behind, but
Fishy. Nice soul jump proc as well. iceicebaby is not going to let this go. Looking at the relics, no beads available. And that's why they were going on to Lawbster.
Living Nightmare was there from Funball in case of support, but he ends up landing back on this tier 2. Walls from HalfDevil are actually blocking Lawbster or Funballer's auto attacks, as Ducky's going to use that life of the party. Bring in Kalas, but he's full HP. HalfDevil nearly dead already. Faeles going in the back line, looking for 2 by himself. He'll get forced back, but did good damage to set them up, but HalfDevil does end up falling to Deathwalker.
Oh, Faeles could be in a lot of trouble here after the pluck, but good beats as well. Kalas is going to commit to the chase, as does Vote, landing from his chariot. They're not done yet because Kalas pops the sprint. Good mess forcing out the beats, and Ducky's next on the chopping block as well.
Ducky falls, Vote guns him down. RivaL able to get 3. SK, they had the Fire Giant totally, but that felt awkward. Lawbster Lawbster never even ults or does anything to try and support.
Very awkward engagement indeed. Was too concerned about defending his tier 2 tower instead of trying to get the towers for themselves. And against the Serqet, I mean, like, she's not going to be dealing that much damage to the towers anyway. Just fight 5 on 4, where we saw RivaL split up in game number 1 when they had Fire Giant. SK Gaming do the same in game number 3.
RivaL sends Deathwalker to right side because he can teleport in. Lawbster is sent over to the right side because he can teleport in via way of through space and time. Once Deathwalker shows up, isn't it the logical call to just fire through space and time regardless of angle? I mean, you can use it defensively, you can use it offensively, you just got to use it at some point.
But at the end of the day, the portals aren't going to reach the left all the way towards the left side to the point that your allies can use it as an escape mechanism. Therefore, Lawbster should always be there at the left side, because we saw how many times that SK got away from a sticky situation.
I mean, Funball could have been there. He's got a global ultimate himself, and there's no distance limit on that. You can Living Nightmare in off the initiation, land where the tanks are, and then you aren't really left out to dry as often as you think. I don't know. Very weird from SK in that moment. RivaL able to wrest back control after SK had taken some momentum from them by securing fire. Fire now gone. It'll be up in about 45 seconds. And RivaL has a window right now to maybe pull Pyro with Lawbster and HalfDevil both coming back from base.
Just kind of waiting casually. It's up very soon. 30 seconds or so. I think SK Gaming might have to play a little bit of defense now. They are down like about 5 to 6,000 gold, as RivaL are trying to really still battle their way into this top 2 seeding for HRX.
Don't worry about fire quite yet. RivaL more concerned with the tier 1 and mid. No reason not to be when it's quite that easy. Vote 5-1-5, top of his team in player damage, very nearly top of the game in player damage. Literally 100 damage off of the top spot. That's less than 1 auto for Vote at this point in the game. He's looked great so far on this Apollo. Is HalfDevil in a little bit of trouble here? Has got to use Earth and Fury right away. Funball and Lawbster join the fray. Wlfy's got to use that ultimate, and Vote is already gone. Fails, strikes him down from the volcano, but he will return the favor. iceicebaby doing that for RivaL. Ducky around the backside, has life of the party, just trying to slow everybody down. Kalas dashes in nicely. Ice able to notch himself a double. 2 damage dealers off the board, with iceicebaby getting credit for both. It's a triple kill for iceicebaby.
Let's go, RivaL. If they want to find the win here, they need to find Ducky as well, and they will fully commit. There's too much mobility from this Amaterasu to allow Ducky any sort of safety, and Lawbster commits his ultimate offensively to start that off, which got the early kill onto Vote, which forced a very early ultimate out of Wlfy. But after that point, Faeles fell. He was just too far behind. He was still underneath, finding the kills. And as a result of the 4-on-4, it went the way of RivaL with a little bit of control from Deathwalker's tail whips.
I mean, that's ideal, nearly. Oh, Lawbster, no. He thought everyone was still in base. Ice does end up spotting him.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's a Janus.
That couldn't possibly go any better off the rip for SK, because Vote doesn't even get a relic off before he dies. That is as good as you could possibly get in a team fight right now with how much work Vote is doing, but then SK just kind of fall apart after that. They're too clumped up. Ice is able to still weave his way in and out despite being clumped up for SK. HalfDevil taking too much damage off the initiation. just a couple problems there for SK that they had the right idea. I think focusing out Vote is the right call, but they just couldn't stay healthy afterwards.
SK Gaming will get the Gold Fury after RivaL secure themselves a Fire Giant, but not slowing down. RivaL barreling down the Tier 2 solo side, and with a minion wave right beside them, they will go for the Fire Giant. This time, Lawbster will not commit to the split push on the left.
Aegis still down for Wlfy. On the other side, Aegis down for Funballer, Beads on cooldown for Faeles. Lawbster trying to get an angle alongside Faeles. Blink in for Faeles right onto Wlfy. Wlfy already up into that fire shard through space, and time comes through, doesn't hit anybody, and Faeles is the first one out. Funball wants to join his friend, but Wlfy's getting low as well. Great body block from Wlfy, or from Vote rather, to save Wlfy.
Funballer's in a lot of trouble. He gets taunted back in, flung around by the tail whip. The pluck not on the mark, but just needs one more basic iceicebaby with the ambush.
HalfDevil low, down to half, but RivaL more focused on the objective itself. The idea there is get Wlfy up into the sky via Faeles. Lawbster snipes him out right afterwards. But man, it is so hard to track a Nuwa when she's at fire shards. I mean, you can move at least a little bit. It's nearly impossible.
Such a small red targeter on the ground, and when there's 8 other people around the Nuwa, because you're all the way in the back as a Janus,
right,
you're not going to be able to see that targeter anyway.
Ducky's got to use Beads off the pluck from Deathwalker, but DW still standing strong. Lawbster, not so much. He's got to head back to the fountain, down to half HP. Mid Phoenix still standing pretty healthy. Here's another pluck, this one onto HalfDevil. Life of the party will bring Deathwalker deeper underneath that Phoenix, but HalfDevil is already gone. Deathwalker's going to lurk for a bit, but now he'll pop up to chat. Mid Phoenix dead. Lawbster dead. Ducky could be next. RivaL might just earn themselves a Game 3 victory right here, right now.
They certainly can, aggro. It's only Faeles and Funballer alive against all 5 black and purple jerseys going into the throne room. Let's see what SK can do.
Funball plucks right away. Faeles doing great work with that volcanic lightning, and Funball's buying some time inside that wall, but Vote stands strong. Faeles does fall, and despite a good effort from SK Gaming, they remain with the goose egg in the win column, and Team RivaL took them a little bit longer than they would have liked, but they get the set victory.
Oh, absolutely here. Winning game 1 and game 3, slowing down in game number 2 as they gave up too much control on the selection for SK Gaming. And SK Gaming switching things up with the Janus instead of the Agni, which I think favored Lawbster in game number 2. I'm surprised they didn't run it back. It was an anti-RivaL strategy because they were afraid of the Amaterasu and Janus combination. I
agree. I mean, SK, when you win, you have to look at what actually lets you win. And I think it was a CC composition they go away from when they had the option, but then they end up falling in game 3. Who do you think was MVP there for Team RivaL? Vote had a great game on that Apollo. Wlfy did tons of player damage, but he's playing Nuwa, so it doesn't really count. I mean, RivaL ended up finding the victory in game 3, and that was the easiest they made it look. And even that SK looked competitive in.
Oh, absolutely. I think SK Gaming had plenty of kills there for Pele specifically that Faeles was piloting. I think Faeles had a great set between the Odin, the Mercury, and the Pele. A lot of flexibility in that God pool for them. I think that he's going to be the catalyst for SK Gaming to start really getting some of these wins. And also the shot calling needs to be picked up a little bit. Some of these Fire Giant calls have been a little bit questionable.
It's been a stormy year for SK, but maybe, just maybe, the sun's starting to shine behind the clouds right in time for HRX placements. Throw it over the desk to break down this set.
I'm here. The sun is shining around me, you see.
It's actually raining outside.
Good. It's because I'm here and I'm English, and that's what it is, isn't it? There's never any sun. Well, first of all, RivaL find the 2-0. Congratulations to them, but more importantly, congratulations to SK on a very good set overall. They do lose 2-1 to RivaL on paper, but their performance here was really good. The problem is it too little too late now trying to head towards the placements? Maybe it's not. Maybe this is the time to shine.
If this is the SK that we can expect to see at the placement rounds, then I think the other teams need to start worrying, because this was by far SK's best performance of Season 5 so far.
Agreed. And on top of that, when you talk about SK and the fact that they just took on RivaL, who haven't lost many games to people whatsoever, the question is, would a minor league team be able to take a game off RivaL? Because that's where the minor league we're talking about, thinking they would be better than SK. We might get to see that at the placements, though.
Minor league in best of 3 is going to be a very interesting debut, but I'm certainly looking forward to witnessing what exactly those guys have in store for us here today.
But back to the game anyway, in question. Like, Ducky and the boys of SK weren't able to pull this one out whatsoever. RivaL, overall, the objective calls seemed a bit suspect. RivaL, SK keep battling over him, kind of RivaL
I think
style.
that's where the big clash was at, though, is that SK was able to distract RivaL. They kind of brought them into the chaos.
Yeah.
They forced RivaL to be a part of all that madness by just nonstop harassing them until they eventually engaged. And then those fights were just so spread out, sometimes even lasting more than a couple of minutes, in fact. And I mean, what was it? Game 1, I believe, the Gold Fury dance?
Yeah.
It felt like it was going to never end.
It was a very, Clear said it best, I think. It was felt like a Brazil SGS match of the Gold Fury dance there. Deathwalker will be your MVP for RivaL, playing the Sobek this game. It was a good performance overall, but you guys at home have voted and believe that he was the one that made the real difference for this RivaL squad.
And I can get it. Remember in Game 2, we said the same thing about Ducky, and that's exactly what Deathwalker was able to bring to the table here in Game 3. I love the pluck control and the tail whips, even a couple of Sickening Strike last hits, but it was mostly that control from the plucks. Anytime you have a Sobek that's able to be that precise, it only ever benefits your team fighting environment.
Are we worried about RivaL, though, with how they've been doing? It seems like the downtrend is really showing clearly.
I don't want to take it away from SK, but I think it's both ways.
Right.
I think that SK are not only stepping up their gameplay, but RivaL definitely not playing to the same level that we have grown to see them be a part of in the past. And so I think that's why we're a little bit more critical on RivaL in these sort of matches. But SK, without a doubt in my mind, definitely stepped up their game today.
Really good performance from them. We've still got one more set to go, and that one is going to be Energy versus Mouse. I had to check because I wasn't 100% sure. We'll be back after the break with that set and find out if Energy can continue climbing in the standings.